WAGSY'S World, WAGSY'S World, it's awesome. WAGSY'S World, WAGSY'S World, have some fun. WAGSY'S World, WAGSY'S World, like and subscribe.
Hey bud, Jeff Spicoli here. What's your problem? Oh, you want to see the famous scene? Okay, let's show it and get it out of the way, dude. Hey everyone, I'm Wagsy. Welcome to Wagsy's World. And yes, today, what makes Fast Times at Ridgemont High great? Let's get into it. Fast Times, what a great movie. Hey, stay till the end because I've got a couple things for you. I'm going to give you a list of Cameron Crowe's other movies and also a list of actors who made debuts or cameos in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Okay, here we go. Fast Times at Ridgemont High, a favorite of mine. Released in 1982, directed by Amy Heckerling and written by Cameron Crowe. This movie also introduced Sean Penn to everyone and Jennifer Jason Leigh. It was a coming-of-age movie, the comedy and drama, both at the same time, and had a great ensemble cast. Let's go to some stats and critics about Fast Times. It only cost $5 million to make, again, a lot of little-known stars, and it made $50 million at the box office. So 10 times the investment, pretty good. In 2005, the National Film Registry deemed it culturally significant, so it was put on the film registry by the Congress. And it's ranked number 87 by the AFI list of comedies, so a little recognition there. It's achieved iconic status over the years, and Sean Penn said that none of us knew it would take a life of its own like it has. Now, the critics had mixed reaction when it was first released. Roger Ebert said it was a scuzz pit of a movie. Scuzz, I haven't heard that word in a long time. We used to say it. Anyway, scuzz pit of a movie, but he praised almost all of the actors' performances. Now, Rotten Tomatoes said the film has endured strictly because of Sean Penn's performance. And one other thing, that it captured the details of school, life, work as a teenager during that era, the late 70s, early 80s. Here's a few little known facts about Fast Times at Ridgemont High. They had no instrumental music in the movie. It was all pop hits done by famous artists. Jeff Spicoli single-handedly popularized Vans shoes. It took off and went crazy because of that. Nicolas Cage lied about his age, saying he was 18, not 17, just to try and get a bigger role in the movie. Now, the movie studio thought the film was going to do nothing. They actually thought it was going to flop. They were not happy with it after it was all put together. It did not flop. Now, for me, why I think Fast Times at Ridgemont High is great. I was 20 when it was released, and I could totally identify with the characters and the stories. I had just lived through that. So all of the plots and situations, I kind of recognized, and it was cool to see that on the big screen. In fact, I knew a guy in high school that was Jeff Spicoli. He talked like him. He acted like him. He dressed like him. His name was Brian. He was a cool dude, but he was definitely a Jeff Spicoli. Now, some of my favorite scenes, anytime Spicoli was in Mr. Hand's class, you know, the guy from My Favorite Martian, whenever he was in class, those back and forth between those two were always hilarious. I mean, he had pizza delivered to class. You know, it was so funny. And almost any scene that Sean Penn or Jeff Spicoli was in, I thought was awesome. I mean, falling out of the VW van in the school parking lot, you know, going into the drive-in and having the no shirt, no shoes, no dice. You know, just some classic, iconic scenes. Sean Penn's performance was amazing, and I think that set up his career as time went on for a lot of success. You know, those are some of my favorite scenes. Oh yeah, I forgot one. Phoebe Keats scene was okay. I liked it all right. Another thing I loved about this movie was the soundtrack. I mean, the Go-Go's, Jackson Browne, Sammy Hagar, Stevie Nicks, Donna Summer. Lots of great artists. I didn't even name them all, but that soundtrack is awesome. Now, I told you that I would talk about some of the cast and it being their first film or even cameos. Here's some of the cast that it was their first big role. Sean Penn, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Judge Reinhold, Phoebe Cates, Robert Romanus, Brian Backer. Now here's some of the actors that made cameos virtually walk-on. And it was Eric Stoltz, James Russo, Nicolas Cage, Anthony Edwards, yeah, you remember him, Goose, Forrest Whitaker, and Jason Bernard. All basically had very small roles and even walk-ons. Okay, let's get to the Cameron Crowe other films. These followed Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Wildlife, about the LA suburbs, kind of similar to Fast Times. Say Anything, rom-com with John Cusack. Singles with Matt Dillon. Number 4, Jerry Maguire, Show Me the Money. The next one, Almost Famous. That was him touring with the band Stillwater. Great film if you haven't seen Almost Famous. And Vanilla Sky, which is kind of a sci-fi thriller with Tom Cruise. So he had a few really good films following Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Thank you all for joining. Please remember to like, subscribe, ring the bell. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, remember our Wednesday releases, which is the Super 70s. We're going through the 70s and what was popular during that time. Check that out as well. Thanks again. Have a great weekend.
WAGSY'S World, WAGSY'S World, it's awesome. WAGSY'S World.